everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Shoe Podcast, the only sneaker podcast with a mullet. I'm your co-host, Ryan Landry. That's not the right one. I'm your co-host, Ryan Landry.
And I'm your co-host, Tanner Young.
The boys took a week off and they got a little bit rusty in that downtime. Ugh.
Hey, buttons are tricky. They switch places.
It's tricky. And I'd be like, it's so confusing because they don't have the words on them. They literally do. I'm literally looking at the words on them.
People don't know that. People don't know that.
People don't. I didn't need to say that. Hey, if you're watching this episode on our YouTube channel, please do us a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button to our channel. Really helps. The more subscribers we get, the better I'll get at hitting the right buttons. And that's on growth.
Bless up.
As I mentioned at the top of the episode, we did take last week off. This nerdy talk. Push the glasses up the nose for me if you could. Thank you. We took the last week off to switch podcast hosting platforms, which is just a bunch of jumbo talk we switched the service we use to get our podcast on streaming services like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. But along with that, we now get all this cool integration with Spotify where we can actually upload the video episodes to Spotify. We can do Q&As on Spotify and stuff like that. So keep an eye out on the episode description. In the meantime, while we weren't cranking out the episodes, we did not stop cranking out the content, bringing all of our old IG reels over to TikTok at Shoe Podcast and YouTube Shorts at Shoe Podcast, along with a couple new ones we put out there. Really just, really trying to flex my Gen Z muscles if I can.
Hey, there you go. It keeps me young. Keeps the skin flush.
Really, yeah.
I don't think you want your skin to be flush, though, huh?
I don't know about that.
Compliment.
Maybe we can cut that in post. Maybe we can take that out in the back end. But
Please.
Thank you for running our TikTok. What's the engagement look like over there? What is the youth saying about Shoe Podcast?
We're almost at 200 likes.
Woo!
So,
listen, you're gonna want to bookmark this episode because you're gonna want to look back on when we're at 2 million likes, and you're gonna be like, I remember them when they were so small,
when they were little.
Well, before we get into our episode, what's been new with you? What's been going on in your world?
Not much. You
had that freeze like you were not expecting me to ask you how you're doing.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, thought we were just doing business. Didn't know we were going to do the whole friendship talk tonight. Yeah. You have a mullet. Walk us through that.
I went to go get my hair trimmed, and I said, let's just get a trim. And while I was there was a young lady getting her hair dyed, and so I had a little bit of extra time, and I said, you know what? Cutting it off.
Cut the rest of it.
Cut it off. I cut a lot. It was down to past my shoulders.
That's true. It was really long, yeah.
So I finally cut it. Been growing it for like 3 years. So it was a weird moment. She was kind of like holding like the side, and she was like, "Are you sure?" Like she asked me like 3 times.
You can't go back. Yeah, you can't go back.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah. When she made the cut, I don't know why, but my heart kind of dropped a little bit. I was like, oh man.
Little tear down the face.
So very, very odd. It was weird. I guess I kind of forgot, but whenever you rolled the intro saying
long hair Tanner.
Long hair, I was like, oh my God, I did have really
remember that
hair.
guy. We just did the photo shoot for the podcast as well. So now you're more memorialized in that moment than in this moment, except now that we're doing this video episode. So now this is going to live on the internet forever.
Yeah. And other than that, just get in the yard. Just get in the yard ready.
Oh boy, we're back to that time of the year, aren't we?
Yeah. So I borrowed my dad's truck. It was very sweet of him. Ashley went go pick out a bunch of flowers to get the garden ready. So she went smaller flowers this year. Last year she went big greenery, doing smaller flowers this year.
Okay.
And yeah, so it was nice. Spent the weekend outside, which was fun and very tiring because then Sunday night came around and I was like, boy.
Caught up to you.
Oh yeah.
I could segue from your weekend back into our episode though. On the lawn mowing tip, I'm at the point now where I need to get new lawn mowing shoes because I've been mowing for years now in an old pair of NMDs. It's actually sentimental because it's the first pair of NMDs that I bought, which if that tells you anything,
wow.
You could probably guess when I bought them because when NMDs were hot. And man, what a big moment that was to buy my, one of the first pairs of shoes more than $100. And I was like, but they are now falling apart and it's time to get a new pair. I'm thinking I'm going for the Monarchs. I think I'm gonna go. Wow. I think I'm gonna go down to the outlets because I don't, being a sneakerhead, I don't really have like a spare pair that's become such a beater. Right, exactly. That it's at that point yet. But So I think I'm just going to lean into it, go get a pair of Monarchs from the outlet and, turn them from white to green, if you know what I mean.
Ooh, money.
A little custom job.
I ended up getting just like some rain boots. I
Yeah.
was like, you know what, I'm tired. But I also have dogs, and so I was spending too much time trying to not step in dog poop.
That's fair.
I just said, let me just get some just rubber boots that I can. Downside to them though is you have to wear pants.
Yeah.
With
That
it
sucks.
because gets a
right.
nice little rash on you.
We're losing people here. They did not come here for all this, but that's what you get when you get the boys.
There you go. Get me talking.
In today's episode, though, we're going to cover our favorite sneaker releases from February and what we're looking forward to coming out in March. For those of you that are longtime veterans of the podcast, you might know this best as our ham sandwich of an episode. Just good, classic. It's going to hold you over. Is it the chicken panini? No, that's the other YouTubers that maybe, do the leaks 3 months in advance. But is it, what's a step below a ham sandwich? Help me out here.
Below one?
Yeah.
Like
Is it your mom forgot to pack you lunch? No, you're still getting something. It's it's substantial. It's going to hold you over. It's what you need. It's not what you want, maybe.
Yeah.
It's what you want.
This is the ham sandwich you packed.
Oh,
and it's
there
not the
you
ham
go.
sandwich that the school made.
There you go. That's the analogy here. So that being said, we are going to spend no more time on the intro and jump right into February. First release we want to look back at here, this little Valentine's Day pack. Tanner, tell me what's got you excited about these.
I just think it's cute.
Next slide. Is that it?
Slide. I mean, I think it's a great couple shoe. While I do enjoy when couples kind of share like the same shoe, I do like having a little bit of individuality, but still cohesive.
His and hers.
So it's exactly, it's great. So the pair on top, the Air Forces on top, was a woman's release, which is just a great pair. Love the little heart-shaped cherries kind of hanging on the Nike swoosh. Despise the double Nike swoosh though. I will die on this hill. I don't know why Nike is like, I know we have a giant logo, but what if we put more smaller
But what
logos?
if you also knew that it was Nike?
Yeah.
Get over yourself.
So I like it. Good move. I think great move on Nike by doing a women's Air Force, especially I wouldn't say white. I guess it's more of like a cream, but I know that white Air Forces are a big fashion statement right now, especially
Staple.
in women's fashion. So great move on
Absolutely.
them. And then we had a nice little dunk release.
Yeah.
For Valentine's as well. The dunks came out February. Let's see, looking 7th. Air Forces came out on Valentine's Day, so could get your dunks a little early, and then you got your Valentines a pair.
I appreciate
that was
the
very
dunks.
cute.
I appreciate the dunks coming out a week before because there's probably there's the sneakers release tied to them, so then you can buy them on the 7th, leave enough time for them to ship and actually
Ooh,
get
to
them
get-
and
to
wear
get
them
there.
on the 14th.
That's smart.
There's nothing worse than when they do the sneakers release for the Halloween shoes on Halloween Day. And I'm
Yeah.
like, great, I got them. By the time they get here, I'll be eating turkey. It's going to
I'm
be
gonna
over.
say, what am I doing? I'm not wearing my spooky shoes for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing my Valentine's Day Nike dunks for St. Patty's Day.
That was it. You got
The
there.
next one. There you go.
You got there.
So great, and I do kind of like how there's a little bit of, again, not only is it just a theme shoe, but kind of a color palette that ties in. You have the pink within both shoes that come together. So just a real good. And then I'm gonna be honest, I love a burgundy.
This man's a sucker for some burgundy.
I'm a sucker for some burgundy. So I think it's great. Like I said, really love it. It's adorable. Great couple shoe. Great holiday shoe, especially the dunks. Definitely, I feel like you could wear those at all times. Even the Air Forces,
Yeah.
not overly Valentine. So I always appreciate when you get a theme shoe that also has traction outside of whatever that theme may be. So
Yeah, the dunks I feel like definitely have some good wearability outside of Valentine's Day. I wish they came with like a lighter colored lace. I feel like just between like the toe and the tongue, it kind of just turns into one like solid blob. Maybe the light pink to accent, and match with the swoosh on the side there. Just a little something to break that up some more.
light pink would be, that would be good.
But it's tough because in my mind, you talk about Valentine's Day dunk, and I put Strangeloves right at the top of the list. And it's kind of like, once you've done that, any other ones, you're always kind of comparing to that very high bar, I feel like.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, Strangelove, it takes a real person. Like, I'm putting a whole velvet shoe on.
You wake up with that energy, yeah. And you wake up with that bankroll. Remember I told you, like, I looked up Strangeloves like a month or two ago because I had some extra money from selling shoes. I was like, what's some ones I always wanted and like I could maybe go back and get used? You feel like the dunk boom is done. And like, it's definitely not as aggressive as it was. Buying and reselling, really not the profits there. People feel like, though, the old shoes like not going down in value. The used Strangeloves still very high in value. So they're not on the shelf behind me, if you can't tell.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
But, you got to move on. There's plenty of other fish in the sea. There's plenty of other shoes in the sea. And that brings us to the next one here, the Stone Island and New Balance 574. These released on March 16th. For the retail price of $140. And I'll tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I did not get them on the New Balance release on their website. It was not a good time. Now the 574
way to state that.
Yeah, well, no, sorry. Let me pull back the curtain here. I did not get a pair any outlet. Right. I tried to. I appreciate what you were trying to do. That's good. That's good TV right there. But no, I did not. Yeah, I feel like the 574 is not the most popular silhouette amongst like diehard New Balance fans, like true New Balance fans, but I like it. I feel like, me personally, I'm not like an OG New Balance fan. A lot of the 990 silhouettes look very similar to me, and I kind of get them mixed up and I cannot tell them apart. The 574, I get that it's kind of like a casual takedown, but that's what I like about it, is that it looks pretty casual and wearable. And I'm not a giant Stone Island fan. I don't own any Stone Island. I do not keep up with the brand at all. I just feel like this was a really good colorway on this shoe.
It is a very good colorway. I do love the logo. The logo on the tongue.
Nice little hit.
I'm assuming Stone Island.
Yeah.
Is fantastic. This shoe it's giving me like either elementary school or you're in Silicon Valley. That is literally, I feel like
there's no in between.
There's no in between. I guess it's the silhouette, which people maybe they're not super hype
You're
on.
You're either going down for nap time or you're explaining NFTs to your crypto bros. There is no in between on this shoe.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it. But I agree. Great colorway. Oh, I mean, is that alpaca on the inside around the ankles?
I don't know. I feel like the rainforest suffered to bring us this shoe, but the drip might have been worth it.
Well.
It does look like it's got the Sherpa lining on the inside of it, though, which is tough being Louisiana boys, because you look at it, you're like, in theory,
sweaty ankles.
In theory, I want to love it. In theory, I did not put on my ACG jacket in 80-degree weather to go to Planet Fitness, but if I don't wear it in 80 degrees, it's going to be 90 degrees soon, and there's no shot I'll get to wear it then. Yep, done.
Drip or drown, Ryan. Drip or drown.
Drip dropped at that point, I suppose.
I'm just sweaty.
And that's the real drip.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, I just thought this was a good shoe. I tried to get it in the release. It did not happen for me. And then outside, I entered a couple of other boutique raffles and unsurprisingly did not hit on it anywheres. Good shoe, not good enough that I want to pay resale for it. But I was like, I don't have that much New Balance. I literally only have one pair. This one I thought would have been a good addition to the collection. Again, just really good colorway. I got excited when we first saw this one.
Yeah, very earthy, which is very much your wave right now. Very much your wave right now. You're very outdoorsy.
In spirit, mentally. Mentally, I'm out there. Mentally, my vacation responder is on. In reality, I'm outside. I'm like, God, I hope I packed a Duraflame, because starting a fire without one is hard.
Is it?
It's not that fun.
I was gonna say, how did humanity progress? But I guess they didn't have smartphones, so
no, they didn't. But if my ancestors could view me now, well, aside from the whole, starting a fire without a Duraflame log thing, they'd probably be looking at me doing a shoe podcast, and they'd be like, this is really, what we went through. Okay, got you. This is what you're doing with your life. Got it.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you for that one. I appreciate it.
We're a real homie.
All right. So that kind of does our February recap. Moving into March here, you know it, you've been seeing it, and by the time this episode comes out, it will have happened. The Nike and Tiffany Air Force One. Tanner,
Wow.
walk the people who may not be familiar through it. What's going on with this one?
Well, there's a very, very popular Tiffany blue colorway.
Yep.
And it's on a black Air Force.
Next slide. You're succinct
Flip it,
tonight.
sorry.
You're really quick tonight.
Fantastic. I mean, I'm assuming, I just am assuming there are a little late to the game. I feel like the black Air Force meme was a while ago.
Yeah.
But Mello
Needs
a ring.
Yeah.
Needs a ring.
Get him a ring.
He definitely said that he was going to bring back the black Air Forces, and he was, I guess, the model, the spokesperson.
Do you think that was the long-term play, or do you think that was just happy accident, that like coincidence, and they realized it was a good opportunity? I feel like that's a long-term play to just have this moment.
I don't know. I feel like it is maybe a coincidence. I feel like Nike and Tiffany were probably working this out. I'm assuming when
you have to.
Black Air Forces were, a popular meme.
Yeah.
And then Carmelo Anthony came out with that. So I'm assuming he was just like, hey, this just kind of worked out well. I don't really know how to good roll out, but who knows? He might have been, if you want to really put your tinfoil cap on, I say, yeah. They contacted him and was like, do you want to be your spokesperson for this shoe? I mean, fantastic. I mean, this is it is currently the eve of March 6th. These release March 7th.
Yeah.
For a very low price of $400. Is that Nike swoosh? Because that is what you're paying for. You were paying for literally that Nike swoosh.
And the little silver piece on the back.
Is it a bar of silver? It better be a bar of silver.
It is a bar of silver. Yeah. So I didn't know you didn't know that. It is a Tiffany bar of silver on the back, which I don't know much the value of jewelry. The internet has assured me that you could not smelt it down and get your money's worth out of this shoe. It's not the market value of silver is not in the weight of that bar back there. You're paying very much for the branding.
If I know capitalism, they are not giving money out.
Yeah. Not lately. They really fell off of that. They really did.
Yeah. I mean, this is nice. I mean, it's, a nice, I'm assuming black suede, just from looking at the picture, rather than, I guess, like the black leather that the Black Air Force meme really came from. I'm enjoying the laces, though. A little bit more of those kind of like rounded, more ropey lacing. It looks cool. I mean, it's a Tiffany, which is always very cool. However, too rich for me.
Yeah, well, and here's my big gripe with this thing is that I don't know if you're familiar, Air Force Ones, right? Normally the little lace dubray, the little bar that goes across the bottom lace there at the bottom. Dubray is the term for that. I believe someone fact check me on that. Not included on this pair. Available for purchase separately. Along with, they also did like
$400.
They did a shoehorn and they also did a toothbrush. The toothbrush is a nod. You clean your shoes with a toothbrush, but it also kind of feels like it's a nod to it. But could you pay us for nodding to it? To sell the toothbrush and the dubray separately. The shoehorn I get because that's normally not included in there. The dubray should be on there. The toothbrush you can toss in the box as a fun extra. The shoehorn I get if someone wants to pay for that. But just still, for $400, I mean, I guess, Tiffany brand is not necessarily known for being like a bang for your buck jewelry company.
No.
But still, just, all of the accessories available for purchase separately kind of rubs me the wrong way.
The shoehorn. I want, if anything, it better be one of those like ridiculously long shoehorns. I love the shoehorns where like you don't even bend down.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Who is this for?
It should be, but I don't think it is, unfortunately.
I guess insert height of Carmelo Anthony.
On the screen right now, you think?
On the screen, yeah.
No shot of editing this after the fact, I'll tell you. I did not spend this much time setting this whole production up ahead of time to then edit it later. No, my friend. What you see and what you get. The way I botched the socials at the beginning, I didn't forget about that. That's staying in the edit. That's in there. That's in there for good.
I think so. Legendary pair. Strong one, Tiffany.
Yeah. Bold claim. Let me ask you a question about these. Ready? Ready for some deep sneaker talk here? We're going to get past the hype for a minute. My opinion, I feel like probably common opinion, the Diamond Supply Co. Tiffany Dunks low that came out forever ago. To me, non-arguably a better collaboration than this. Do you agree?
Like the dunk went better than this? Yes.
Yeah. So do you think when it comes time, now fast forward to today, Tiffany, Nike figuring out the collaboration they're going to do you think it's respectful not to touch the dunk silhouette out of respect for what a big moment that was and instead do it on an Air Force One silhouette? Or do you think they should have done it on a dunk to better pay tribute to the first one to come out? Does that make sense the way that I've asked it? To me, for how iconic the Tiffany dunk is in just sneaker history, for this to be an Air Force One is kind of like, why would you not do another dunk? But is it like the sequel could never be as good as the original, so we got to change the silhouette?
Gotcha. I don't know, because I want to go ahead. I want to say, if I know anything about super wealthy people, is they just want more money. They don't really care about a product.
Yeah.
So I think this is just one of those things where production has just been like, hey, remember when this was funny?
Yeah.
And they were like, this would have been great. This would have hit 6 months ago. And then we're getting it now. No, I don't think Nike or Tiffany is trying to respect the history of that shoe.
You think this is more so referencing Black Air Force meme than Tiffany dunk?
100%, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I hadn't considered that. I feel like I associate it with the Tiffany dunk because Tiffany, you know? I mean, I don't,
yeah.
It's not lost on me, Black Air Force meme, but I hadn't considered that. It's an interesting thought, though.
Because they've done other Tiffany shoes.
They did the
after
high
the dunk.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess they did that Tiffany blue. They do the thing they always do, right? You know, where like there's a popular collaboration and then there's a bunch of different takedowns of it.
Yes.
So you're right. They used the Tiffany color in a lot of other things. But I guess this is probably, since the original Tiffany low dunk, not an official Tiffany collaboration, of course. This has probably been the most on the nose thing since then, I guess I would say.
Yeah, I would definitely say that if Nike wanted to, they would for sure. I mean, they retro everything else, so I don't know why they would choose this one shoe to be respectful for, especially since it would just be Nike. Again, I'm assuming just taking two multi-billion-dollar companies and be like, you want more money?
Yeah,
all right.
Well, and I guess it's probably also a thing because they don't really retro Nike SB dunks. So I guess they're not going to recreate the original one to the T. I mean, they'd have to bring in Diamond Supply Co. as a part of that, you would think. So I don't know. Just thought it was interesting when I heard the news. There's a Tiffany and Nike collaboration. Your mind obviously jumps to, oh, the dunk. They're probably redoing the dunk.
Yeah.
And then you see it's the Air Force, and you're just like, oh, okay, not what I was expecting.
It is interesting. I mean, Air Force Ones are kind of having
super popular.
Another moment
Yeah.
again. Like they did, I guess, 20 something years ago. So they are definitely having a moment. Like I said, I think it's more of just Air Force Ones, like a white Air Force Ones they're coming back as just another kind of like staple to just a casual fashion outfit. And then with the whole Black Air Force One memes that were kind of popular, I'm assuming my head goes straight to there rather than.
Let me ask you on the Black Air Force One meme, is it then more appropriate to, through maybe perhaps non-legal channels, obtain a pair of these? Is that more in line with the mentality of what this sneaker truly represents? $400. Who's really going to pay $400? If you're a true Black Air Force One fan.
I feel like if you're wearing these and you see someone wearing just an all black pair of Force Ones, you just turn around.
Walk the other way.
Walk the other way. 'Cause just before they even ask the question, just say my size.
My size. They're my size. I don't know what size you are. They are not that size.
Where'd I get them? On my feet. On my feet. Yeah, on my feet.
On my feet. On my feet. All right, moving on to the next one we got lined up here. The Nike SB and Jordan 4 Pine Green. This one's expected to release on March 17th. I think the price they're talking about is $225. But yeah, okay. This is the rare collaboration between Nike SB and Jordan brand. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the last major one that happened was the LA to Chicago and the New York to Paris Jordan ones.
Sure enough, yeah.
I can't recall one since then that's happened. Yeah, before that would have been Lance Mountains, I think. So, yeah, it's really mainly been on the ones because ones kind of had a role in skateboarding culture. So perhaps fours do, and I'm unaware of it. But I'm not here to complain about it. I'm here to try and get it. I would like a pair of these. I'll go out and say it. I notoriously not a fan. Notoriously not a fan of when they put Jumpman on the heel tab. I don't think. I wish we had a back shot. I don't think
it doesn't look like it.
I don't think it's Nike Air. I think it's Nike SB, which is also really cool.
That would be cool too. Now, Ryan, what makes this SB?
That's a great question. I don't know for sure, but I know. I think it was about a year ago. It was at least within the last year when you started to hear the rumor of this shoe coming out. And then it was either Eric Costin or Paul Rodriguez that was seen skating in what they call wear test sample versions of this shoe, which is just all black material. It's all black. It doesn't have this color blocking. Gotcha. And I think it's reinforced in different ways in certain areas compared to a traditional Jordan 4.
That was what I was going to also kind of seem like. I would imagine that mudguard would be, have to be able to stand up to a grip tape. So, and then I guess maybe just really the main part of this being is like, hey, the outside is going to be your Jordan 4.
Right.
And I would imagine the insole is going to be more commonly what an SB for.
Might have like the zoom
better
insole.
Like cushion and impact. Yeah.
I don't think this has anything to like scientifically do with skateboarding, but also just when I see white midsole and gum sole, I always think skateboarding shoes because I had a pair of audios like that.
Well, let me tell you what.
I see the gum soles and I'm just
very
like,
classic.
skateboarding shoe. Yeah, so.
It very classic. I mean, Jordan brand really liking this color because we just recently had a Jordan 4 with the
oil green.
Oil green.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a women's 4.
Yep.
So really liking this. It also kind of gives me, I think they did I know they've done a Jordan 4 bread of the golf shoes. Yeah. But I feel like they had a golf shoe very similar to this colorway. And
Maybe
if not, it's just given me like, you're on the greens.
You're on the greens. You're on the
it's
tee.
It's reading 100%. Like you're getting off the tee box. So, I dig it. I dig it. It is very cool. I mean, if it says Nike SB on the heel,
game over. That's
cool.
Sorry, we all have to
That's
go home
cool.
now.
I don't know why. I can't tell you why. That's cool, but you just know it is.
And if you don't know why it is, you're not cool.
You're not cool.
Just put that
out there.
Sorry to
tell you.
Sorry, we got to be the ones to break it.
My mom said it.
Yep.
Mama said it.
Must be true.
Must be.
We
SB.
Yeah, we still don't have a ton of details on these because, I mean, as you see, the pictures we're using are just an in-hand picture. We don't have like the professional images yet. So they're releasing very soon, but there's still not like a ton of details on them yet. We know the release date though, or at least this is the release date. Shout out our local shop, Ruckus, as always. They are doing a big release event for these on March 17th. I believe it's going to be here in Baton Rouge. They might also be doing something in Lafayette. Check out their Instagram at Ruckus103 and at Ruckus Lafayette. By the time this episode comes out, I think they will have posted more details about the release, but obviously anything we see, we will also be sharing to our Instagram at shoepodcast. So you can check it out there. We're going to see if, maybe I can get out there for some of the day, go hang out with the people. I'm trying to start a rumor and I don't know how well it's going. I'm starting a
Start it
rumor.
up.
I'm starting a rumor that they're gonna make you hit a kickflip and hit a 3.
Hit
That's
a 3?
That's my rumor. I'm trying to get going. Is that you have to do a kickflip and hit a 3.
Yeah. I like how you went with like a very skilled.
Yeah.
Like instead of just being like a kickflip and maybe like a layup or something like that. No.
The kickflip is 1 point. The 3 is 3 points. That gets you to 4. Jordan 4.
Man, you really got your tinfoil cap
I don't
on.
always want to have to come out and spell it for people, but I'm glad to when I need to. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I don't know. I'm trying to put that rumor out there, but also it drastically lowers my odds of getting a pair of these if that's what they do. So
yeah, I can't even ride a skateboard.
We'll see. I don't know. They make it sound like it's going to be kind of an all-day event with maybe something at night going on at the shop as well. So should be fun to at least just come and hang out and have a good time. Try to get a pair of shoes.
Yeah, everybody at Ruckus is super great. Always just fun to just hang out. It's a great spot. So, if you could walk away with a pair of shoes, obviously that is literally the cherry on top.
Right.
But any day hanging out at Ruckus is a great day.
Wow. Ruckus, do you guys want to sponsor the podcast at this point? I mean, that was a pitch.
I'll take stickers.
That's not in the script. Just stickers? You're selling yourself short. Okay. I will not just take stickers. I want more. He speaks for him. I speak for me.
Here's the thing. You come in short.
Oh.
Okay? That gets the
They
conversation
think he's
going.
so humble. Just stickers. No.
Got him.
Got him. Next dunk. Got him. Speaking of next dunk, on the list, these are not SBs, but we could go over it anyways. The Nike Dunk Low Black Suede. I'm going to let you take the talk on these. What do we got? Looking voluptuous.
Loving these. So these are the I think they're supposed to be a luxurious.
They look it.
Very luxurious suede dunk to it. I think this is also a women's exclusive. Sorry, fellas.
Okay, continue.
And I think really the most I know about it is that they're just a luxurious, better material, and I think they're clutch. I think they look great. This is just another example of Nike being like, "Yo, pandas, they were hot, right? Couldn't get them. What about these?"
Kind of vintagey too. Vintage. We know it's hot. We know y'all like that right now.
That we do. Honestly, probably not really a hot take now. I guess kind of the pandas, things like that. I like these a lot better than the pandas. I like the material.
Yeah.
I like the way they look. I like the swoosh. This kind of like, I guess, pastel kind of yellow.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Looks real great. The laces, I'm on the fence with. That kind of multicolored look to it. It's like I like it because it adds something different to the shoe, but then I'm also like, just give me a cream.
Oh, I was gonna say black bear, but yeah, you're right. You're there. Throw these in the box as an extra if I want to pop. Give me a plain pair to wear. I'll wear these, 7 days a week.
100%. I think these are great. This is just one of the things. It's really just like Nike being like, you thought dunks were done? We're ramping up production.
They're still coming out aplenty, which is like, we don't need to keep riding Ruckus this hard, but I'll put it out there that I was hanging out in there over the last week or something like that, and I'm still amazed the number of people who just cold walk in the shop and are like, "Hey, do y'all have dunks?" Like, we're like 3 years into this boom. My brother in Christ, you gotta know they don't just have dunks. They're not just sitting.
Turns out Nike is like, yo, anything with a dunk is exclusive.
Yeah, so I occasionally very limited stuff like that, but yeah, in the most part, it's not like you just walk in and you're like, oh, there's those dunks that everyone wanted. Imagine that. They were just sitting here.
Yeah. So, yeah, these should be releasing on March 9th for a nice little 120.
Okay. Keep it
nothing
low.
Nothing big, nothing crazy. And that's what I like. And that's what I like about it. And I mean, look at that. It'll be great because you get these paydays right there, right around the corner. You pick these up, you get paid, boom, ready for the weekend.
I think
fresh pair of shoes, fresh paycheck.
It's going to be what? I think that's going to be the day before this episode comes out, if the Friday is the 10th. So yeah, by the time this episode comes out, maybe you've already got your hands on a pair of these. And if so, kudos to you. Kudos to you. You as well, Tanner.
Hit the IG. Tag us in that post. Let me see him on feed. Let me see him on feed. At shoepodcast.
There you go. Always be plugging. I love it. And last but not least, the big kahuna
big.
for March. Still kind of rumored, but feeling like it's got to be happening here. The Air Max Day Big Bubble. Big bubble. This is like, do you remember the episode of SpongeBob where he made the bubble friend? That bubble friend is not as big as this bubble. I'm going to tell you right now.
Wow, that's a big bubble.
Silenced. Yeah, so
bubble pleb.
There's no confirmation yet, but Air Max Day is going to be March 26th, as it is every year. So it's pretty much kind of assumed at this point that these are going to be coming out as part of Air Max Day, which I love to see that in more recent years, they have been retroing like this kind of almost like mystical legacy product. Like you talk about these are modeled after the original mock-up of the Air Max 1, which had a much larger bubble, which over time just kind of got shrunk down and down and down more. If you've ever watched Seinfeld, you're familiar with shrinkage. I think that's kind of what's happened here. Sorry, got to throw one reference in there. But I like that they're doing that this year, and then it would have been 2021 that they did the Bacons, the Air Max 90 Bacons, which again, just another one of those, like, unless you were in New York the year they came out and like knew Dave's Quality Meats, you weren't getting your hands on a pair, but they were like a mythical pair. That's probably the best word to use here. I am so 1000% here for it as someone who still does not even own a pair of the OG anniversary Air Max 1s in this red, which I think, like, for a lot of sneaker collectors, that's like a, you know, some people would be like, that's a must-have along with like Breads and Shadows and like Black Cements. They'd be like OG anniversary Air Max 1s you got to have, but I still don't have a pair. So I'm really hoping I can get a pair of these. They come with a slightly different box. It's not the original Air Max 1 style box, but it's made to look like a lost and found box, essentially. It's got some weathering and tattered on it, which, sure, I'm here for it. There better be some little chuchuts in that box. You better put some little chuchuts and some little extras in that box for me.
100%. These are great. As I ended up picking up when the most recent time they retroed the infrared Air Maxes. Seeing that, love those bad boys. So this is cool. I mean, it is one of those things where just seeing kind of like the retro add to it just seems really great. So I would hope that they would very much try to put a lot of presentation to this, and like you said, add a lot of presentation to the box, give you some great extras. Even whenever they retroed the infrareds, they just had like a retro add to it. Yeah. Which was just a cool thing, just one of the things to be like, even with open the box and all I did was go, oh, cool. You
gave it to me. From it, but I have it.
I love that you did it. I love that you did it. Yeah. I love that you did it. Yeah. It'll be interesting. Like you said, no confirmed date, but I can't imagine that they wouldn't release these for Air Max Day and this be their main release, unless they do a crazy bait and switch. But I have no idea what they would do instead. Maybe they retro the Vapor Max.
Well, and they've really not been making as big of a deal out of Air Max Day lately. Like the Bacons was kind of the first year in probably like 3 years that they did what I would call like a quote unquote bigger release. They normally have a new Air Max silhouette that they debut, which is, I think the last one that really stuck for a few years was the 270 or the 720. Those came out after the Vapor Max. Since then, most of the new Air Max silhouettes that come out on Air Max Day don't stick around more than a year, or at least they're not popular for more than a year. But
if you're gonna retro, Air Max Day is the day to retro it.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to think so. The only thing I'm seeing slight critiques and criticism on the internet that the shape is not quite true to the original, but I'm not gonna say what can you do. They could get it right, but at this point, I'm like, fine.
They did make it.
I just want a pair. So
yeah.
We'll see.
But also, if anything, your critique is just being like, you went with, it is one of those things where it's like, okay, this is where it started at, which is crazy, which is great, which is cool. Yeah. But technology has progressed to where obviously the big bubble wasn't the correct choice because, it's no longer that.
It was controversial. People thought it was too big. They were afraid it was going to pop. That's why they made it smaller. Well, they made it less visible. The foam on the outside just covers more of it. I believe that's correct. Fact check me in the comments.
So even Air Maxes today or Big Bubble?
Possibly. I don't want to say yes because I could be wrong, but possibly. It's an interesting enough conspiracy theory.
Scammer gets scammed.
It's an interesting enough conspiracy theory to make this a clicky episode, I would say.
Like you said,
Gotcha.
yo, we used less material, charged them the same price.
More with inflation.
Yoink.
The rug right out from underneath them.
Sucker. Boy, Nike's really just be they stay winning.
They do. Hard to not when you're a company that size. But that being said, I think that's going to do it for us. So got some good stuff to look forward to in March coming out. February, a good month as well. We haven't done one of these episodes for the year, but the goal is to get back into the monthly cadence of doing of them. Historically, January always a pretty dead month, so there's almost nothing to ever talk about in January. But
well, you coming right off that holiday month.
Yeah, but someone call Thin Lizzy because the boys are back in town. We're here to make some more of these episodes. That being said, thank you all for checking out another episode of Shoe Podcast. You can find us online at shoepodcast.com, which will have links to everything we're about to say. But to do it, we are on Instagram at Shoe Podcast. We are also now on TikTok at Shoe Podcast. Please give us a follow over there, a like. And we're on youtube.com/@Shoe Podcast. Lastly, if you want to support the show, you can do so over at patreon.com/Shoe Podcast. It is a wimpy $2 a month. It's just general support of the show. We greatly appreciate it. You get early access to all of the video content before anyone else. Lastly, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping here. Here's a little bit of fun for those of you that stuck around towards the end of the episode. If you're listening to this episode on Spotify, we're testing out a new feature that we mentioned at the top where there's a Q&A in the episode description, supposedly. If it is there, go ahead and let us know what sneak release you're most looking forward to in March. We will read them and figure out a way to shout out a couple of them or our favorite in the next episode. So if you want a chance to get shouted out in the episode, we'll put your response up and we'll talk about whether you have good taste or not.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not guaranteed. You don't put it in and we pick our favorite and we go, here's what we love so much. No. If yours is bad, we're going to talk about it. But all press is good press. So here's your chance to get on the show.
True. We'll give you a shout out.
And I think that's going to do it for me. But before we go, I literally have it in the outline now as Tanner time. I give Tanner a couple minutes at the end of the episode to talk about whatever he wants before we wrap this thing up. Tanner, go ahead. What do you got for the people?
Sanitation.
Okay.
I've already been on this podcast before talking about the fantastic wonders of a bidet.
Yeah.
Every household should have it. Every toilet in your household should have it.
Okay.
Clean your toilets, people.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
You got an affiliate link? You about to drop the affiliate link in chat here?
Yeah, it's called elbow grease.
Oh, I meant the affiliate link for like the bidet. I assumed you had like a sponsored post. No, you're encouraging people just clean their toilet.
Clean your toilets.
Get a bidet as well?
Get a bidet. Well, yeah, for sure. I've been preaching that. You should. So if you don't have one, get one. Honestly, you don't need to spend a lot of money. They all do the same thing. I mean, I guess if you want a hot water one, but cold water, honestly, not that jarring. I thought it was going to be too much.
You still have to clean the toilet with the bidet, just less?
I guess it is. No, it's probably about the same. I don't think it's any less. But I think it's just one of those things where you just don't think about. You just don't think about cleaning your toilet until it's too late. And
until you got guests coming over. That's us.
So it might be too late. So just clean your toilet. You know, don't put the little bleach tablets in the back. Don't get used to that. It kind of it'll irritate the little flap that's in there. Then you have a runny toilet. Now your water bill's high. Now your water pressure is low. It's not a great time. No, just get you a little squirt, scrub, flush. You're fine.
And thank you to those of you that stuck around till the end of the episode here. We greatly appreciate you. As we said at the top, if you made it this far, I know you like the content. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Greatly appreciate it. It does help us. That being said, that's Shoe Podcast. I'm your co-host, Ryan Landry.
I'm your co-host, Tanner Young.
See you next time.